filled with Olympians, professionals, champions from the European League. And they are all on the rosters of this groundbreaking league. All you need is love.
Love me here at Loud Proud.
Love, League One Volleyball, for youth, for pro, for life.
It is first serve here at Gateway Center Arena as Atlanta welcomes Salt Lake. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson alongside Kevin Wong. Kevin, this has been 5 years in the making. What does this day mean for our sport?
This might be the biggest match in USA volleyball history, and it's not just for the volleyball. In a lot of ways, this has been an ecosystem play. This has been a play that has built a community of thousands of junior athletes across the country joining hands with the best US and players across the world.
Yeah, it's an entire movement, and it's a great time for it to be a movement in women's sports because there have been big stars in other sports that capture the country's imagination.
In a lot of ways, volleyball's been leading the charge. Record-breaking crowds at Nebraska's football stadium. The US team winning gold in Tokyo and following that up with silver in Paris.
Well, and 10 of those 13 Olympians are playing in this league, including the setter Jordan Poulter tonight.
Jordan Poulter is the best setter in the world. Why is that? Because she runs the fastest offense with the most precision, a deadly combination that leaves defenses in the lurch. Across the net, we have an athlete, Kelsey Cook, that transcends the sport of volleyball. Whether it's fashion, music, cuisine, travel, Kelsey Cook has done it all, and she still continues to play at a very high level, one of the great outside hitters in the world.
On the floor and ready to go. It has been 5 years that this league has been in the process. Taking a look at the lineup, you're going to know a lot of these names. I'm going to point out, of course, Kelsey Cook. She is the first athlete to sign, an Olympic gold medalist multiple times. She is athlete number 1. The head coach, Paolo Coco, for Atlanta. As for Salt Lake, you're going to recognize so many different people. There's a look at Manami Kojima. As Jordan Poulter, we mentioned, running the offense, the setter. So many players have been in USA's gym. Tori Dixon, Serena Gray, Ronnie Jones-Perry, on and on it goes. You're in for a treat. Tama Miyashiro, longtime assistant for the U.S. national team, is the head coach of Salt Lake. What an exciting time, and starting things off for Atlanta serving is going to be Maddie Bug. The beautiful arena. First set back. Ball down. Point Atlanta, and the fans are into it from point number 1. Tama Miyashiro, really accomplished coach. Kevin, she was telling me she never really intended to be a head coach because she wanted a little more balance in her life and flexibility. She's very happy to have set roots up in Salt Lake.
Yeah, really will bring a calm demeanor. She's a native of Hawaii. Brought great discipline as a player for Team USA for a long, long time.
Yeah, celebrated Libero for that team. Run in the middle quickly. It's Maddie Bug, a former setter from Stanford that fans may recognize. And Paolo Coco, 4-time Olympic medalist, has been with the Brazilian team forever. You guys probably go back a ways.
This is a guy who brings high energy. He's going to be nearly as entertaining as what's going on the court at sometimes.
Point Salt Lake, so I think it was Adreno down this side. We saw so many smiles today at serve and pass. These athletes absolutely delighted to be playing in their home country, Ronnie Jones Perry, and to bring these incredible European and Asian professionals here as well.
I was surprised throughout this week how excited people were, how much anticipation there was, right? Like, we're used to the Olympic Games where these athletes are on the biggest stage, but in a lot of ways, the pressure is very similar here.
That's served by Magdaléna, does not convert. And it'll be Serena Gray on the other side, played her college volleyball for Pittsburgh, from Italy that we were just talking about. Here's Iga Wasilewska out of Poland serving, four-time Poland champion. Ronnie Jones Perry buries it. Let's take a look at our Adidas scouting report as Kojima leaves the floor. We talked about being Negretti out of Italy, Manami Kojima, and then Piano Pinoy also for Atlanta. I think this is something that fans are really going to fall in love with if they haven't seen a lot of international volleyball, because these are literally the best libros in the world.
Right, and
including Justine Wong-Orantes.
And Kojima, maybe a little bit more of the strength on the passing game, although she's a fine defender. And on the other side, Negretti, an amazing defender.
Here's Jordan Poulter. Kelsey Robinson Cook with a little touch. This time, Perry challenges the block.
Really full circle moment for Jones Perry from BYU. Grew up playing in the Club V gymnasium, and now she makes a full circle round trip back to the pro league team.
And when you talked about the ecosystem of Love Volleyball, it is in part from the clubs, and including that club that Ronnie Jones Perry played for.
Right, Club V, and then the club here in Atlanta, there's a number of them, but A5 was the #1 club in the country in the 2023 season.
How does that fit into League One's philosophy and ecosystem, as you called it?
For youth, for pro, for life.
Oh, I love it. Off the block and down. Poulter goes the other way. And let me introduce you to Haiti Casanova out of Cuba.
Experienced Cuban star, plays within herself, has a lot of discipline. This team has great backup opposite, but Casanova stepping in.
Jones Perry serve.
It's interesting to see Jones Perry talking to Drews. Those are two rivals in college. One played at Utah, one played at BYU, and here they're playing on the same team together.
Yep, they were rivals, right? Now teammates, and they were there at the same time. Dropping it where they're not, in the center, and we are tight game, just a 1-point lead for Salt Lake.
And such a smart play from Casanova. Knows the middle blocker's in there on the serve, doesn't have the libero to hit against, and wide open.
With her experience so far, you're going to get used to the biggest stars playing. It's going to get gritty here in Atlanta. We are midway through set number 1.
And the crazy thing is you've got the Tokyo Olympics. They didn't really have a place to come home to after.
Right.
Totally different story here after Paris.
And that's what we've heard time and time again, being able to put down roots. These teams have been practicing for the last couple of months. Kelsey Cook, one of the most recognizable in this country, with 3 Olympic medals, Club World Championships as well, and Champions League titles. What's so special about her?
She was the athlete #1, right? First athlete that said yes to love from the very beginning. It was kind of amazing. We talked to her after serve and pass here today, and to see her in tears and just the build-up over the last 4 years, very emotional moment here tonight.
Yeah, she said that, you know, she wasn't...
Know what Poulter likes to do in what kind of situations.
Yeah, and Poulter has said of Cook, she's always the one in the USA gym that you wanted to beat because she's so intense.
It's interesting, both of them had the same reaction, right? They said, we asked for so much off time when we talked to Love.
Yeah.
Well, it's been different playing across the world, but you know, on day 6, day 7, we were getting a little antsy to get back in the gym.
Yeah, those Holiday at home. Let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Michaela Chester.
Yeah, Marie, well, you mentioned those Team USA players facing across the net with Poulter and Cook. I talked to them early today about what it was like, you know, getting to see those familiar faces and face off against each other now here in America. They said there was so much comfort in playing against your fellow teammates and Team USA players, and it was honestly just really special that they all decided to come together and take a leap to do this. But Poulter said, you know, it should be fun. I'm hoping things get a little chippy across the net.
And I was just thinking, Michaela, I'm ready for things to get a little chippy with a little trash talking, but Haley Washington is not available tonight. And I feel like she would be the leader. She's on Salt Lake's team and not quite 100%.
Wow.
Now we're seeing the Libros. Kojima, or excuse me, Negretti pops it up. Oh! Head hunting was Casanova.
I tell you, it is not easy to be a libero. You see Negretti getting dirty on the off-speed shot, and then the cross-court heater, and then this one, she's got to put the helmet on, almost gets her head taken off.
Oh, Negretti gets under it, can't control it. Beautiful attack by Gray out of the middle for Salt Lake. A rare free ball. Kojima underneath it. And then off the hands and good. There you're seeing the movement of Manami Kojima.
Yeah, Kojima says in a lot of ways she's the leader on this defense. Gets to take a look from behind the scenes and able to see all those little details. We really do have great libros.
For sure, and part of what her teammates were telling me was that Kojima was like, wait, we only have practice for 2 hours because they're so used to like
right.
the 12 hours. They're like, no, you can get a lot done in 2 hours, rest, recover, watch film. All of a sudden it turned into paper cuts, back and forth, teams tipping. Who's gonna bring the hammer? Tip, tip. Somebody's gonna have a big swing. And it's a huge swing, but a bigger block as Casanova and Gray combine.
Serena Gray, part of that pit contingency. What a great job Dan Fisher has done in elevating that program. She was part of 2 Final Fours. They've gone 4 Final Fours in a row.
Timeout taking by Salt Lake as we take a look at that. Again, with Pitt, 4 consecutive Final Fours again, or national semifinals, I guess we should call it. And you know, what we're really seeing is the clubs feeding the colleges feeding the pros, and now for the fans to stay and watch the players that they have loved through their collegiate and professional careers here in the U.S. That's a game changer.
You're absolutely right, Dan Fisher. I mean, they used to play in front of small crowds. Now they're having to go to bigger venues. They're selling out. I just noticed today he actually signed a 5-year extension through 2030.
Yep.
For a lot of people, he was the front runner for that Team USA Olympic job.
Yep. He'll be staying at Pitt. Ronnie Jones-Perry over the top. Bug picks it up very easily.
Wow.
And that's an amazing play. What a dig by Drews.
I mean, getting horizontal on defense there. Amazing range.
Absolutely incredible play. You can feel the tension just rival up. Like it was
right.
like, at first it felt a little bit like a friendly, and now it's like, wait a minute, it's 1918.
We've seen a lot of pin hitting on both sides. We haven't seen setters use the middle very much early in this match so far, and the passing has been pretty decent.
Yeah, it's interesting. Of course, the serving, one of the things that both coaches are relying on, the spin serve from Ronnie Jones-Perry can be incredibly tough. No touch, Salt Lake builds a lead, 3-point lead, and it is being challenged by Atlanta coach Paulo Coco.
Yeah, at the test event a month ago, Salt Lake looked the flattest of the 4 teams there, and in a lot of ways, I think it was Tama Miyashiro playing a little chess.
The challenge is, was there a touch on the block? Well, not on the first blocker, and probably not worth pointing out too that you get 2 challenges, and it's similar to college and international rules where if you are successful, you keep your challenge. If not, you lose it.
Definitely no touch on that. Tama Miyashiro never put the lineup together that had Ronnie Jones-Perry and Danny Drews in at the same time, and you knew it was going to happen here tonight.
After further
Yeah, it was interesting
review,
because Tama told us earlier, she said, I wasn't quite sure who it was going to be, so she worked out this group together or that group, but 2 months of playing, and I mean, when you have so much talent to choose from, Kevin.
Right.
There's a communication error that may happen in match 1, day 1, but we won't see that later in the season.
Yeah, really interesting, right? Brand new season. People have certain coverages across the country from different countries, different programs. Going to take some time to get a little bit of cohesion.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Atlanta coach Paulo Coco said. He said, you know, just trying to figure out where the common ground is between all his players. Let's take a look at the scoring of Salt Lake. You talked about a lot of it coming from the pin hitters.
Casanova really doing a great job holding down the right side. Serena Gray has that really interesting roundhouse arm swing. Gotten a lot of production off of Drews as well as Jones-Perry. Jones-Perry really interesting. The match in Salt Lake, she was so nervous. She said it was the first time playing in front of my family and my parents in 5 years.
Oh, wow,
So
right.
much built up pressure.
Some are feeling the pressure. Others are just so thrilled that their family can be here. That one gets away from Jones-Perry. Call that a coach's point when there's a timeout and it ices the server a little bit.
We got to get a Fitbit on Paulo Coco because he is relentless on that sidelines. He's walking back and forth, high energy.
Some substitutes. You know, these teams have been playing against each other, scrimmaging against each other for 2 months. Now they're seeing the different systems. The excitement today. The excitement all around, and Kevin, I know that you've been a part of this since day 1, 5 years ago. What is it like for you to finally be here?
I was more nervous in today's Open. It's surreal and super real at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, Kelsey.
They really need to get going. They got some middles going, they got the right side going, but the left side's both hitting a little bit low on the percentage, not being as terminal as Salt Lake's outside hitters.
Over the top, and it looks like the connection maybe not completely there with Gray. She's got her arm a little bit low.
She has a really big arm swing, right? So the window actually becomes much smaller because there's so much movement. But when she gets everything, all the pieces in synchronicity, watch out. I think that's also something that you see a lot more that Karch Karai brought to the Team USA gym. A lot more patience, a lot more off-speed shots, a lot more throws and pushes as opposed to just gripping it and ripping it.
Yep. Well, and we're not seeing a lot of first ball kills tonight. There's one. I knew as soon as I said it, we would get one. But it's been interesting to watch the transition game. It's where your Libros definitely come in play, but not just them. The backcourt offense, we've seen Kelsey Cook have some big digs and Danny Drews as well.
Absolutely. Look at Kojima in the back, right? Staying warm.
She's going to be a fan favorite.
We asked her, how's the Japanese food in Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
She said she saw in a couple of restaurants, but more it's become this team get together. They have dumpling parties in the hot pot where she brings the whole team over and she cooks.
Oh, I love it. I love it. A reason to want to be on Kojima's team. Gia Day. Down the line, an ace for Day.
Getting her shot in the big leagues. 2024 played in Korea. Prior to that, played in the Italy leagues, but in the A2 league, not the top premier A1 league.
Yeah, she's played professionally in France, Puerto Rico, Italy, and Korea, as you mentioned. Been around, and to be able to settle back here. Casanova just has a different sound when she hits it. What an up, a beautiful up by Maddie Bug. And clamp down.
It's just so fast. I had a buddy of mine run some of the metrics on how quick all of our setters ran sets to the pins, and Jordan Poulter is in a class of her own. Super fast in first ball and almost more impressive, nearly the same speed in transition.
That's amazing. Sub 1 second for sure.
Yeah.
Little touch, pursuit by Jones Perry. It's an interesting one where the middle comes back to take that ball, and you've got Negretti right behind you.
The passing for this Atlanta team so steady, right? You got someone like Negretti in there, you got Cook in there. They just got to get a little bit more offense. On the other side, Salt Lake, every cylinder is firing.
Yeah, Coutinho has been the bright spot for Atlanta so far. Jones Perry putting some fire on the ball. There you go, Gia Day.
Multi-sport athlete as a youth, played some basketball, played some softball. Her mother actually played softball and basketball at the University of Detroit.
I think she is from Michigan originally. Slide back to Dixon. And those are the hesitation plays that I don't think we'll see later, but Atlanta's had a few of them.
You know, and I think it shows you how valuable Libros are, right? When they're off the court, things just don't run as smoothly. Negretti back on this Atlanta team.
It's pretty skilled to being, okay, Serena Gray is this high, she gets this high. I mean, to get those knuckles, because that's the easiest way to get the ball back in your face is when it comes over your shoulder. You said Coutinho was going to have a big night tonight.
She needs to, right? This team doesn't have the firepower offensively. You look at Kelsey Cook, she's still one of the great passers, but offensively, she's not going to be the one that can lead the charge. So who can step up?
Middle. That connection is tight now between Poulter and Gray. It took a minute.
Yeah, and every time before the play, I think to myself, okay, Poulter's going to set to the left. No, here she's going to go to the right. I'm wrong every time, and that's the special gift that she has, right? She's just one step ahead, makes it all look the same.
That's why I wonder about her teammates from the national team as we follow along. Do they know her a little better? Day got on that quickly. Look at the way Gia Day is moving around that court. I mean, hits the ball, comes over, passes it, comes back, tries to dig it.
She still would probably want that back, right? You see the great dig on that side, Kojima, but on the other side, this is an overpass. You're one of the great outside hitters in this league. You got to take care of.
Well passed by Nagrati. They do get the touch.
Addie Bug doing a great job. One of the smart setters in the world, Stanford grad. All academic awards. Paulo Coco upset, right? His team's finally starting to get a little momentum, and they got the timeout called.
Yeah, Atlanta with a 3-point. Danny Drews, again, underneath it. That ball, I thought, clipped the antenna. I guess not.
That play kind of tells the story of the match so far, right? On the one side, you see a little bit of a controlled tip, reserved play from Atlanta. On the other side, Casanova just teeing off. Been a winner everywhere she's gone. 2024, she was Romanian league champion, 21 and 22 in France. Best opposite for both leagues as well.
And it's concerning that nobody in Atlanta was close to it. It's like there's this hesitation that we've seen several times now.
Yeah, and you start thinking about who are some of the people who might come off. Mackenzie Adams did some great things earlier when we saw Pinoy can bring some energy right at the passer and some leadership. Jehlářová, maybe a little more offense in the middle. Here we see her right now.
Yep. There's a look at Magda Jehlářová. Played for Washington State, and now it has been a run by Salt Lake since that timeout to tighten it back up at 12 all. Maddie Bug, heads up.
Played on Imoko last year. They were the Euro Champion League's champion. Played with Kelsey Robinson, so there is quite a bit of comfort and connection.
Yep. Of course, Kelsey Cook, we should say, because people know her as Robinson Cook. She's Kelsey Cook now, and gonna have to chase this ball. There's nothing you can do with that one. Just a setter's mistake. Here's Casanova again. Cook, pass, put to the corner. Casanova again and again. Kevin, they cannot find an answer for her.
Well, you think about it. We talked about nerves. And who better to play in a brand new situation than someone who's playing now in her 9th country she's ever played in, right? She's played in Cuba, Romania, France, Ukraine, China, Italy, Turkey, Brazil, and now in the U.S.
Yep. She's like, just give me a ball. Incredibly accomplished. And I was asking some of the American players kind of how they were helping their foreign teammates. And they said it's always been flipped the other way. And so now we can help with customs. We can help with traditions.
Paulo Coco also now bringing in Hainline, other middle blocker. So he switched out both of his middles. And I talked to him before the match. He said, I'm not so worried.
Paulo Coco in Atlanta. Remember, they were leading 12-9 earlier. Salt Lake called that timeout and flipped it around.
Manami Kojima, 2024, named the best libero in the VNL.
Oh, yeah.
Best of the best in the world. She really shined. One of the smallest athletes on the court, but take a look at the range. Take a look at the read, the precision. There's a fearlessness.
Hainline will step out again as we see Tia Jimerson came in, had a little serving run in the first set. Oh, that connection has gotten nothing but sharper. Ball is out, but you're really seeing Poulter and Gray.
And it's how high Poulter is able to contact that ball. There's no upward motion at all. It's just a handoff, a lateral handoff there.
I love it. There you see it again.
It's interesting. I once had I know nothing about setting, but I had a long conversation with two people who do, right? Courtney Thompson and Jordan Poulter. And I was surprised they actually pre-select who they're going to set before each play. I always thought you kind of jump and at the last minute flick it around. No, it's a plan.
Oh, I need to talk to them about that. That's really interesting. Not situational.
And it's changed how I coach my younger athletes right now, right? Because if the pros and the best of the best come in knowing what they want to do.
Right, if the pass allows.
Right. You got a plan A on a good pass, and then you kind of have a plan B as well. Here's that double sub we saw in the first set.
Yep, Rachel Fairbanks has had, it's a Thursday? Thursday? And it's Wednesday. She just was eligible on Monday. She had her physical and first practice Monday.
They said they called to give her the offer, and 14 minutes later, she called back and said, I'm in. Sign me up.
I love it.
This time, Paula Coco leaving her in to finish out the set.
Yeah, they said for Fairbanks finishing that story, contacted and contracted Friday, flew out Sunday, Monday physical and first practice. 2 days later, first match.
And that wasn't after a long off season, right? Like that was off of a really emotional and physical run towards another Final Four appearance.
Through the national semifinals, yeah. Bomb of serve. Back again, a quick arm. Beautiful, you talked about that double sub. Tessa Grubbs getting it done.
Yeah, my old coach, the Hall of Famer Al Skates at UCLA, said if one player's struggling, take that person out. Two, take that person out. If the whole team, take your setter out. Get a new look.
Interesting. Solid block. Chase down, they go to their safety blanket, Casanova. Ball bounced. Back to Casanova again. She just gets it done.
She plays with a quiet ferocity.
She certainly does.
Heavy, heavy arms, smart swings, makes really good decisions, and has a lot of range.
Now she's got 10 kills today. And no errors. How about that? I have to check it twice. 25 swings, 10 kills.
You got the jinx going. She's service error. That's different though, right? That's different.
Yes. You should feel nervous about that if I've got the jinx going because I'm right next to you. Hainline comes back in. Fairbanks stays in. Back again. Well, as you mentioned, kiss of death. That's a first attack error for Haiti Casanova.
I think she just looked over at you over here in the corner, right?
I'm not that powerful. How about that? Timeout taken as we are tied at 23. 8 ties, a couple of lead changes.
Sold out day one.
Yeah.
Junior players all over the place, including the ball girls on the court.
Yep.
We talked to Kelsey Cook and we said, well, why? Why? You were at the top of the world playing in Italy, making all kinds of money. She said 2 things, family and the future.
Yeah.
Right, and her family's here, and so are a lot of the future generation of the talent here in the Atlanta market.
Yeah, she said, you know, it was such anticipation of her because I think she signed 4 years ago. Is that right? As athlete number one. And she said she's gotten so many messages from people coming out of the woodworks. It's like the Olympics,
right,
where they're so excited to turn it on, you know, and be able to see it in this country. Hainline sends it back. And Atlanta, after dropping the first set, sits at set point in set number 2. Casanova, not so fast.
What I like about Casanova is she's got that energy that's just focused, never up, never down, just steady throughout.
Michaela Chester was in the huddle. What'd you learn?
Using their eyes and getting ahead of the play. He wants them to just get into the game, get one step ahead of Salt Lake. He just wants them to use their eyes and read the block. Honestly, that was the message. And just to get in this thing, it's the set 2. They want to win here.
The challenge with getting ahead of a Jordan Poulter offense is it's so fast.
Right.
You can't catch up. You got to take some chances. You got to guess a little bit along the way. And yet here they are. They got a set point, and this double sub comes back in.
For Maddie Bugg's serve coming in, and Danielle Coutinho up front.
Play the game with me. Who are they setting on this play?
Set point number 2, if you're Atlanta, or if you're Salt Lake. If you're Salt Lake,
Ronnie
I think
Jones
you find
Perry.
Danny Drews or Ronnie Jones, yeah. Ronnie Jones. Patience. All right, now I know what game you want to play. We'll play the game.
I've been wrong every time. That was my first time I've been right.
There you go. Yes. Mackenzie Adams, number 13, in the navy blue with pink for Atlanta, is in as well.
Big moment for Mary Lake on the court for the first time tonight.
And a great serve, and she serves. Middle, coming down, and now it's Salt Lake with the upper hand after 2 set points by Atlanta.
And I'll tell you, this is the biggest swing we've seen from Cook all night long. And yet in the back row there, Danny Drews laying it out. And then the quick transition. Jordan Poulter truly is amazing. All night long, she's been getting these blocks that are not truly formed. They're late, they're on their way up.
Yeah, and Gray, to your point, she's so big, she's up so high, but I'm watching her wrist, Kevin. I'm watching her hand contact because she's moving it around. It's not always wrist away like that one.
And it's not your typical middle arm swing, which is a little bit more like throwing a dart. It's a little bit smaller motion, a little bit faster motion. She's got the full swing, so when she gets a hold of it, watch out.
This is set point, Salt Lake. Coutinho looks for it. It is out. And Salt Lake takes the second set. Atlanta had 2 set points, Kevin. What was the difference?
I think maybe the substitute out, right? They were running on
the
all
rolling on the
cylinders.
court is no touch. Atlanta is challenging the
with
call.
Rachel Fairbanks. Maybe I think if I'm Paula Coco, I think I have her start in this third set.
And right now there's a challenge here, challenging.
After further review, the challenge is unsuccessful and the call is confirmed.
Yeah.
Atlanta loses their challenge.
So that's the second unsuccessful challenge for Atlanta. Kelsey Cook is going to need to get it going for Atlanta for this third set. It is best of 5. Can Cook inspire and lead her team to a comeback here in Atlanta?
The off season from national team, for the first time in my career, I had 3 months off. I think our bodies and our minds are used to going and constantly moving, and I was really kind of hit in the face a little bit with you have time. And a lot of it really was healing injuries, healing my mind. I haven't had that time before, so I'm really grateful to have that opportunity.
Well, Kelsey's Kelsey Cook's return to the United States to play in League One was an emotional one on a lot of different levels. As the first athlete to commit to Love, she took a huge leap of faith. I talked to her this morning at Serve and Pass, and she said walking into the arena this morning, she just had a moment of tears, and she even got really emotional just talking about it. There was a part of her that felt like this was just too good to be true, playing in the United States, in Atlanta, where her family lives. She's been overseas for 11 years with little to no off time, and getting her family here in the stands tonight was just unreal for her. She's always, Anne-Marie, like you mentioned earlier, thinking about what's next. But today she just walked into the arena, felt so much peace because it was just today, it's here. She didn't have to think about what was next, Anne-Marie.
You know, we asked her why Love, right? And in a lot of ways she said having a say and having a voice in what this league looked like, and getting a little bit more rest, health insurance for all the players, maternity leave. These are things that don't happen anywhere else in the world, and here they are with Love.
Yeah, they asked for that rest, as you said, and then for Christmas, she was with her 92-year-old grandparents or grandma and everything. And after, you know, a few days, she's like, wait, this is too long. And she goes, I went back to the gym and started working out. They're creatures of habit. So this is a big moment for her, though, because if she is going to lead this team, Atlanta, what do they need to do to be successful to extend this match?
Salt Lake just is playing better offensively, right? So I think that puts two things under pressure. Is Atlanta's got to up their offensive game and then serve tougher.
And they are using a different libero. Atlanta is. Piano Pinoy is in number 2. That is the same number she wears for her Thai team. Maddie Bug is still serving for them. And immediately answering the bell is Kelsey Cook.
A little motion, a lot of elevation. That is a big time swing from the star of this Atlanta team.
And a tough serve to follow takes Salt Lake out of system. Ronnie Jones-Perry, their only real option there.
Yeah, and when you can simplify who you have to focus on defensively like that, serve becomes so key, especially when you're going against a setter like Poulter, who's just so fast, just so quick, and so precise.
A little bit of moisture on the floor. And Kojima's like, I got this.
So funny how when the momentum is shifting, you find some precipitation on the court, right?
You don't think it's just because they're sweaty? All right. Oh, what a snap and an even better dig. It's out. First time Pinoy has touched the ball today. Maybe she was just too nice through the first 2 sets. Uh-oh. Good patience by Magda Jehlářová. She said we can also just call her Magda, and I think that's an out, but I think I'm going to take her up on it. All right, that's just living your life right, a tape ace.
You know, and throughout the night, they haven't gotten a lot of breaks. They haven't gotten a lot of bonuses. Some of those out hits, just missing the block. The volley gods are starting to balance it out a little bit.
Yeah, and they got big smiles on their faces. Atlanta does. Coutinho gets it right back at her head from Ronnie Jones-Perry.
You notice this Salt Lake team has had 2 up on Coutinho nearly all night long, in system, on free ball passes, right? You can see that was one of the keys to their gameplay.
So is Atlanta's offense fast enough? Do they need to go a little bit faster? Maybe. The silence from Kevin Wong is deafening.
No, I mean, there's only one Jordan Poulter in the world, right?
Yeah.
She explained it to me today. It made no sense to me, but to her it did. It's easier when I go faster.
There you go. That's interesting. I'm going to have to ask her why. Danielle Coutinho serving. They've been going at Ronnie Jones-Perry most of the night this time to Danny Drews, and it was a good choice. as Gia Day takes care of the overpass. I want that to be a stat, by the way, in terms of the overpass kill, because the server starts all that off.
I like that. Maybe give him like a half ace on that,
Yeah,
right, in the back line.
I think so. I mean, it's like people are always like, "Ah, great kill." Wait a second. There's that wrist away. Pinoy studying when she was on the bench.
Right, if you just contrast that, Casanova getting 1.5 blockers on there, getting seams to work with, getting lines to work with, and then all night long Coutinho hitting against 4 hands.
Perfect pass by Cook. Followed to the back line, great swing.
Little assist to the bench on that play. You're
Calling
running
it out.
blind, you're running
Yeah.
after the ball, right? And they gave her a little heads up, it's out.
Here is Gia Day, Atlanta doubling up Salt Lake 8-4. Okay, how do you stop Casanova? How do you contain her at least?
I don't know. I mean, that's the tough thing, right? She's done it in system, she's done it out of system. They've taken line, they've taken angle, and she's just got great vision. So hard to do on the right side is to be able to see the ball and the block, and she's making it look easy.
Pass is good. And did get a touch of the hands.
You know, a play they did not use very much early, Atlanta, the slide, and they got 2 amazing slide hitters. Starting to see a reversion to the course that should be working.
Tori Dixon, haven't heard much from her. They're setting her.
Kind of like her coming in here and maybe getting a chance to be a game changer, because this Atlanta team definitely needs something a little more, a little extra.
We'll see if they keep going to Adams. Buzzer going off in the play. It will be a replay. Comes back to Hainline now like, okay, make sure your second serve is good. Yeah. You can feel it. I mean, that's really, it's actually, for me, I think that is more pressure when you're reserving than it would be after a timeout or your second or third serve.
I always thought the most nerves, first match of the season.
Right.
Right? First match of a league.
Uh-huh.
Think about it. Sold out capacity crowd.
And you've been anticipating it for years. You've been practicing for 2 months with your team since November 11th, I believe, was their report date. Here's Coutinho tied up, must-win set for Atlanta. Off hands, attacking. You mentioned it, Mackenzie Adams, a different look.
Yeah, she's got a bit of a swag factor. Best player in UTSA history. Played basketball there, played volleyball there in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, played professionally in Germany, Puerto Rico, Italy, Turkey, and Japan as well. And blocking balls. Mackenzie Adams has been an injection of energy for Atlanta. Atlanta retakes the lead now by 2. And then Casanova remembered who she is.
And I think one of the challenges here, right? You think about a coach having a brand new roster. Who's a gamer? Who's
Right.
the person who shows up in practice every single day? What is my chemistry on my team? Who plays well together? Who doesn't?
Right. Especially when you get a team of stars, right? I mean, these teams are filled with stars. Ball up, that's strong. Strong by Dixon, but Magda shuts it down. Uh-oh. Did they get a little bit of a net? It's actually a Salt Lake ball.
Paulo Coco threw a little bit of a tirade, but his players settled him down and said, I was there.
There you go.
That was me.
I got it.
There's nowhere to hide now that you got Hawkeye everywhere, right?
Oh,
like
right.
there's just not even a debate.
No, it speeds up the game so much. Hawkeye, great technology to be able to see the lines. You'll notice there are no line judges here, not needed.
It's about 40 cameras all over the place.
Yeah. Having a conversation with the scorers table right now, checking something out internally, and so Tama Miyashiro takes advantage of the moment to give a little bit of information to her team.
Right, and you think about it, the players are a little bit nervous. They're going through their paces, they're gonna get better. So will our scorers, so will our broadcasters, so will the TV production people as well.
Yeah, we're watching all of that. I've got my eye on Jordan Poulter, who has been going around talking to each teammate individually, touching them, you know, hands on shoulders, having a conversation, just making that connection again and again.
You know, in a lot of ways, the injury she suffered and the hardship she faced and had to grow through, different athlete, also a different person and a different leader as well.
Yeah. She said she's living the dream. She says she's just so excited to go to practice every day. She was all smiles today as they came in for their serve and pass.
This is that one you got to keep in after the long delay.
Yes. And she does. It's a good, tough serve. What a great time for Bug to call her own number. We haven't seen it tonight, and it's now a 2-point lead for Atlanta. Adams. Oh, stellar serve. Heat not able to be handled.
Tough serve, really amazing pass, and then the set, the delivery, it's just uncanny, her ability to go in tempo, right location, right time.
They're holding a serve for just a moment.
Wait for it. Here we go.
Bug to Cook. They went away from her a little bit in this set. Casanova again finds a welcome back. It is tight right now, and they just put Negrati, who was in the Libero jersey. Now she is serving and playing defense as Atlanta wins the point and the crowd explodes.
Sometimes you can't even draw it up. Dig off the neck. Turns into a rat-a-tat play at the net.
Negrati again goes at Ronnie Jones-Perry. That's dug by Negrati. Now operating as a defensive specialist, and how about that? Atlanta finishes and takes set number 3. I absolutely agree.
Good serve.
There was a touch. It was micro, but it was there. And Casanova is serving for match point, Salt Lake City. Substitution as Tessa Adams comes in, or excuse me, Mackenzie Adams. Casanova, great serve. Jimerson is blocked, and Salt Lake takes down Atlanta in 4 sets for the first ever League One win.
A lot of motion, a lot of veteran, experienced, high-level volleyball from the team in blue and yellow. And you talked about it from the very beginning. For Atlanta, bright future, lots of good pieces, but this is a team that has to get to know each other better. They have to build that familiarity, that court coverage.
And it'll come. It was the first big test they've been playing against their own team, right in their own gym.
And when you're doing that, how do you replicate? How do you come up with a look that can be anywhere near to Jordan Poulter? It's just impossible.
No, and you can imagine all the other teams taking furious notes. Hey, everybody, we know you're all watching. And the coaches, because this is the first time you're able to see it. And I don't know if you're watching Atlanta necessarily what you're scouting, because we have seen almost everybody cycle through.
Right.
Do know that you need to have a plan for Ronnie Jones-Perry if you're facing Salt Lake City and Casanova.
Right, from the left to the right, from the front row to the back row. There's a lot of offense on the pins for this Salt Lake team. Look at Tom Mirashiro.
Very happy. Let's toss it down to Michaela Chester.
Here with Ronnie Jones-Perry. Ronnie, how would you describe playing in Love's first professional match in the United States? I know it was a tough decision for you to come back and play here. Just what was it like and what did it mean to you?
It was just really cool. I think we've had a lot of time training as a group, so it was fun to be able to come and compete. And just really cool seeing a lot of familiar faces across the net. So just overall super surreal, really proud of my team, and it is a fun environment to play in.
How would you describe the statement that Salt Lake just made with this win and how you were able to gel together so quickly?
Yeah, I think that our team showed a lot of really great fight tonight, and I think that that's something that we want to be about. So, yeah, I think we made that statement. We're here, and we're going to keep pushing through every match.
What are you most looking forward to the rest of this Love season?
All of it. I think there's going to be a lot of great experiences. I'm excited to keep building relationships with these girls and my team, and it's great high-level volleyball, so just excited to be playing.
Well, Ronnie, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take a look at Ronnie Jones-Perry's night here. It has been pretty incredible, 23 kills.
She didn't slow down, right? She started off, shot out of a cannon, and just kept on getting better and better. That swing right there going to give Paulo Coco nightmares. It's deep in the corner, high over the block, out of the reach of the defenders. Salt Lake really had all cylinders going, and Atlanta had no answer for Ronnie Jones-Perry.
Yeah, we'll be back after the break to wrap things up. Salt Lake takes their first win, and that gesture from Ronnie Jones-Perry says it all. They got it done.